In CONMEBOL, it's the same format as previously. 10 teams, except this time 6 teams will qualify, with the 7th place team going to the Intercontinental Playoffs, with 1 team from Asia, Africa, and another confederation, with 2 more teams from CONCACAF. We start with Venezuela, the only team from CONMEBOL to never qualify for the World Cup. The best attempt came in 2014, where they were just 5 points away from the playoff spot. They haven't come close since then, though, with 2 back-to-back last-place finishes. But hey, at least they got actual wins, unlike someone. Bolivia, unlike Venezuela, have actually qualified for a World Cup. They were invited to the first one in 1930 and qualified for 1950 and 1994, and finished the last all 3 times in their groups. The Sea Level Merchants haven't been back since and finished 9th in their last campaign. Paraguay were once one of the best teams in South America and made it to the quarterfinals in 2010, barely losing to Spain, but they haven't been back since that feat and finished 8th last campaign. The world hasn't seen Chile in the World Cup since 2014 when they reached the round of 16 during their golden generation, and it should have been the quarters, but Julio Cesar went clutch. Their best finish goes back to when they hosted the tournament in 1962 and finished 3rd, and they will be hoping to bounce back after the horrible campaign last time where they finished 7th. Colombians will want to forget what happened in 2022 and move on, and they have been in brilliant form lately and even got a 2-0 win over Germany. Their best performance in the World Cup was in 2014, where they made it to the quarterfinals, and could have made it to the semis if it wasn't for your average South American refereeing. Everyone in Peru belongs in an elderly home, especially now that Ricardo Gareca is gone after guiding his nation to the World Cup in 2018, and they got the first win since 1982. The best results in the World Cup, however, is when they made it to the quarterfinals in 1970 and 1978. And also, they barely missed out on the last World Cup due to the Dancing Man. They will hope to bounce back and ride the plane to America under Juan Reynoso. Ecuador qualified for the World Cup 4 times with their best result in 2006, reaching the round of 16. They also came so close to doing the same in Qatar, but Koulibaly was there when Senegal needed him. They will hope to make their return this year with an even better squad. Unluckily for them though, they start off with -3 points after falsifying documents for Brian Castillo in the last cycle, and they played the world champions in their first match.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Uruguay won 2 World Cups in 1930 and 1950, and after barely qualifying for the World Cup in 2022, including a loss to Bolivia 3-0, they failed to make it past the group stages, and they hired Marcelo Bielsa, who has so far transformed the way Uruguay play. We'll just have to see if he can produce the goods. Brazil have won the World Cup the most times out of anyone, a total of 5 times, most recently in 2002. They haven't made it past the quarters since though, losing to a European team every time in the quarters. Last time though, they lost on penalties to Croatia, which is honestly Neymar's last chance, but it will probably be an easy road to America. And Argentina, the current world champions, beating France on penalties, and they will most likely qualify for the World Cup, and they also have won in 1978 and 1986, but the question is, will Messi play in North America? Argentina got a win over Ecuador thanks to a Messi free kick, and in the next game, the Bolivians were blasting fireworks right outside their hotel, and despite that, Argentina won 3-0 with 5 seconds of sleep and no oxygen. And here's the first red card we'll see so far in this window by Roberto Fernandes. Brazil got off to a great start with Neymar becoming Brazil's all-time top goal scorer against Bolivia, and eventually they won 5-1. They got a last-minute winner against Peru with a header from from Marquinhos as Brazil won 1-0. Uruguay beat Chile in dominating fashion and took the lead against Ecuador. They immediately responded through Felix Torres, and then Ener Valencia missed a penalty before Felix Torres scored a brace and the winner. Then we saw classic CONMEBOL officiating again. Ecuador's 2 matches we've gone over, and after that win, they have 0 points.
They don't believe in us. God did.
Peru and Paraguay couldn't be separated after Paraguay became Chelsea in 2022 and 2023, and Peru got a red card in that game as well thanks to Advíncula, and they barely lost to Brazil as mentioned previously. Colombia got a narrow win over rivals Venezuela with a goal from Rafael Borre before turning themselves into 2022 Colombia against Chile. Chile lost to Uruguay and couldn't get past Colombia. Paraguay sold the game in the 90th minute with a penalty from Solomon Rondon, as Venezuela actually aren't making its people go on suicide watch. Bolivia had to play the 2 biggest powerhouses in the first window, so they are already last. And Venezuela barely lost to Colombia and snatched the win away from Paraguay. The results mean Brazil and Argentina are both top of the table with Colombia behind them. They will hope, though, to not return to their 2022 form. Uruguay and Venezuela barely lost their games, but they at least won their games, unlike Paraguay, Peru, and Chile, who both could only get 1 losing point. Ecuador would be with Uruguay, but they instead have 0 points. And as for Bolivia, they are screwed already. Match day 3, Brazil took the lead over Venezuela with Gabriel. Then Edouard Bella scored a wonder goal to equalize for Venezuela and get a crucial point. Argentina kept up their perfect form against Paraguay thanks to an early goal from Nicolas Otamendi. Camilo Vargas got a yellow card early on versus Uruguay before James terrorized Uruguay yet again. Matias Oliveira had something to say about that, but Uribe then gave Colombia the lead back. Camilo Vargas then got his second yellow and Darwizzi converted the penalty and it ended 2-2. Sixteen-year-old Kenji Baez scored early into the second half before Rodrigo Ronaldo stunned the Ecuadorians to end this hellscape of a start to this campaign. Then Bolivia turned into San Marino and Kevin Rodriguez scored the winner. Chile got a 2-0 win over Peru thanks to 2 second-half goals from Diego Valdez and Marcelino Nunez. Uruguay absolutely owned Brazil at home with goals from Darwizzi and Nicolas de la Cruz as Uruguay won 2-0 in comfortable fashion. Messi scored 2 goals against Peru for another easy 2-0 win. Ecuador and Colombia couldn't be separated after Luis Diaz missed a penalty. Antonio Sanabria scored the only goal against Bolivia to get them their first win. Venezuela destroyed Chile 3-0 and Marcelino Nunez got 2 yellows in 1 minute to get another red card. At the end of the October window, Argentina are top with 12 out of 12 points. Meanwhile, Uruguay and Venezuela had excellent windows and are tied for second, along with Brazil after having a disastrous window themselves. Colombia had missed opportunities to get points, but it could have been way worse for them. Ecuador would be tied with Uruguay, Venezuela, and Brazil, but instead sit 6th, and Paraguay have 4 points along with Chile. Peru are the only team without a goal but at least you have a point. Bolivians, you may be suffering from suicidal thoughts, but at least you have a goal and crazy home field advantage. But oh wait, here's some even worse news for you guys. Marcelo Moreno has retired, so you guys have officially no one. But you guys did bounce back in the November window after hiring a new manager and getting a win over Peru thanks to goals from the Backup brothers. Venezuela and Ecuador couldn't be separated and shared points. Uruguay stunned the world champions in Rosario with goals from Ronald Araujo and Darwizzi to win 2-0. Brazil took an early lead through Gabriel Martinelli, but then Luis Diaz after he became a competent finisher for Colombia and scored 2 goals in 4 minutes. Chile and Paraguay also couldn't be separated. Colombia in the next match day got another crucial win in Paraguay thanks to a penalty. Angel Mena's goal against Chile was enough to secure all 3 points for the Ecuadorians. Uruguay absolutely destroyed Bolivia in dominating fashion. Now for Brazil against Argentina. Will Brazil prove they are the better team despite not winning a World Cup in 20 years? Or will Argentina prove why they are the world champions? Well, we didn't have to wait for the action to start as fans were attacking each other and the police used a negative IQ and started beating the people fighting each other. The game started though, and another goal by Otamendi though was enough for the win, and Jonathan also extended the red card streak. Peru finally scored their first goal against Venezuela, but then let them back in the second half. San Marino scores, and Peru continued to fall deeper in the table than San Marino in FIFA rankings. After the end of all those windows, Argentina are still top despite the loss, with red-hot Uruguay right behind them after a perfect window. Colombia had a perfect window as well, and are the only team undefeated. Ecuador have been in some fine form as well, with 4 points to go into the top 5, while Brazil, after having yet another disastrous window, are in 6th. Paraguay and Chile, despite not getting a win this window, still play pretty good against top teams. Meanwhile, Peru finally had their goal and 1 point. The great news for you guys, Juan Reynoso is finally sacked.
I'm free.
I have something positive to say about Bolivia for once, as they are finally not last place. I'm just going to talk about the formats for Oceania and Europe quickly. The format for UEFA is simple: 12 groups of 4 or 5 teams. First place qualifies for the World Cup, while second place and the 4 best Nations League winners, which starts this window by the way, advance to the second round. There, they will be split into 4 paths. Each path contains 4 teams. The 2 winners of the semi-final play each other in the final of each path, and the winner of that path qualifies for the World Cup. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was long, I'm sorry, and let me know, is your team doing good, or do you want to die? Are you depressed? Is your team doing bad? Is it doing good? I don't know, maybe you're a fan of like the Cayman Islands, and are surprised you guys aren't depressed. I don't know. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye!